Hi everyone, Franco from Fresh Air Carpet Cleaning here again, and we're going to have a little conversation today when it comes to chemistry and carpet cleaning. So little myths that you might want to have debunked and a couple of other little facts that you might want to know about. So here we go on with the show. And here we are back again with Michael, and we're going to have our little chat today about things of a chemical nature.
I know, chemicals. I mean, you hear such things with chemicals, Franco, and things with carpet cleaning. Everyone goes, oh my goodness, and some people say, well, can't you just clean them without chemicals?
Yeah, we could try cleaning without chemicals, but not much is going to happen.
Right.
You'll have a nice wet carpet. I mean, think about it. When you have a shower, if you've got oils, and basically that's what we're trying to get off carpets. It's not the dry particulate matter that vacuums off. It's the oils that are bonded to the carpet, oils and sugars. If you have oils on your hands, how are you going to get them off? You go to a tap and rub them under the tap and it magically disappears? No, it doesn't. Well, carpets are exactly the same. We need some form of chemistry to be able to break those oils down and remove them.
So, we hear a lot about the greening of Australia and this and the environmental. And I suppose one of the common questions is, well, are the chemicals safe, or how safe are they?
Well, look, these days there are certain parameters that we have to go by to have chemicals out in the marketplace if you're using the correct chemistry for specifically carpet cleaning or upholstery cleaning, or whatever sort of finishes that you're dealing with at the time. Now, a lot of your El Cheapo type carpet cleaners, they will use some fairly radical, shall we say, chemistry. Don't laugh. Actually, I've heard of one guy that was literally using oven cleaner to clean carpets with. And that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's what he was doing, and he reckoned he was getting a great result with it. He was destroying his machinery in the process, but he still reckoned he was doing a great result with it. But he was one of these ones that was charging $50 or $60 for a whole house.
How many carpets did he destroy?
I have no idea, and I really don't want to know. Okay, but that's a problem. We've got someone who is untrained and really doesn't understand the chemistry side of it. Yeah. They can be adversely affecting both your carpets and your health, let alone his own health.
When you mention health, I mean, you hear a lot of these people, and I've seen them on the TV now, especially all over the internet and Facebook. You can use natural products for cleaning.
I love that one, natural products.
Yeah.
Yeah, bubonic plague is a natural product, isn't it? Okay? Natural doesn't necessarily equal good.
Right, okay.
And the other thing is that people say it's a natural product. Oh, did you find a magic bubbling spring of this wonder product? No, it's been refined somehow. So it is no longer a natural product. It is maybe in some ways less toxic than some of the more synthetic chemicals, yes, I will agree with that.
Okay.
But it is not natural. Okay, there are things that are natural that are still harmful to us. Okay, so just because it has a natural tag, I really am uncomfortable with that. I'd rather know that it's a proven safe product to use than rather than just natural.
So, talking about safe products then, and you're looking at the range, does that mean there's a range of safety within the chemicals you can use, from things that are being absolutely 100% safe to, or maybe there's no such thing?
Look, there is no such thing that you can say is absolutely 100% safe. Right. Too much water could kill you. Right. Okay, you drink too much water, you die. Yeah. You basically flood your body and cells start bursting and all sorts of other things start happening. So, even water, which is what we think is quite innocuous, is still dangerous. People drown in it constantly. Okay, so chemicals, you can have an overload of chemicals, or you can have chemicals that are safe with their use in a specific parameter. As long as you stay within those parameters, you're fine. Okay. Now, a lot of people are also really worried about what we're putting into the carpet and they're leaving behind and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're using the chemicals, you've got your pets on there, you've got the little kitties crawling around on the carpet, and that's got to be a concern for some people.
Yeah. Okay, well, think about it this way. Who's in the firing line? I am. So for me, personally, I want to make sure that the chemicals that I'm using, I'm not going to have a long-term reaction to. I come into a house and I put these chemicals down, but then they're also removed. So in that regard, there's only a very limited amount of exposure time, and there's so little left behind the carpet that really it is close to being negligible. Okay, whereas I'm exposed to it constantly. So I still wear gloves on every job and demand of my staff do as well.
Yep.
just to keep ourselves safe. If there is a really nasty chemical, we have to use respirators as well. But the manufacturers will tell you if that is the case that you need to use it, and you follow their parameters. If I'm going to use a nasty chemical in a domestic situation for a particular reason, say for a really nasty stain removal job, I will ask people to vacate the premises.
Right.
Okay, so I will not willingly expose anybody to dangerous toxic chemicals. And we want to leave stuff behind that is going to be of a benefit rather than a detriment to both the carpet, the environment, and to the client's health.
We talk chemicals and that, but I do know that, or I've seen this trend that they're advertising steam cleaning.
Steam cleaning.
What is around this and what's it for? Okay,
well, steam cleaning, its proper name is hot water extraction. They call it steam cleaning because it looks like steam because this vapour comes off.
Right, okay.
It's not actually steam, it is hot water. We use hot water because with oils, once again, they become more liquefied, if you want to put it that way, once they get a bit of heat into them. So between the heat and the chemistry, it's much easier to suspend that soil off the fibre and flush it out.
Isn't putting that, and we've talked about water before, isn't putting that hot water extraction bad for the carpets? I mean, doesn't it damage it, having that much water go through?
No, just look, if you're doing your job properly, and once again it comes down to operator skill. If you take your time to do it correctly, and you don't leave the carpets flooded, look, by the time we push the water through to the back of the carpet, we've actually done our job incorrectly. It should take a few hours for it to dry. If it takes a few days, that operator has done a massive, massive error.
Because I know you've walked into a few that are like squishy.
I went to one that was squishy after 10 days. So you can imagine the issues that had, and the carpet was not cleaned at all. It was absolutely still filthy. There were spots everywhere, and the carpets were wet after 10 days. So that person had not done their job properly. For us, we go in, and our equipment is designed so that what we're doing is cleaning the face yarns. There's a primary backing the face yarns are actually tufted into, then there's a secondary backing normally in most standard houses. There are other types, but that's the basic one you're looking at. We don't want to get past that primary backing. If it goes into that secondary backing and then into the underlay and into the floor, that's when you get problems. But that's a person who hasn't done their job correctly. Either the equipment's not set up properly, or they're going too fast, they're over-wetting, using too much water pressure. There's a whole range of things that come into it, and we need to take care that we're doing it properly.
Yeah. You know, when you're using the chemicals, and this is something that comes up from time to time, people say, well, the carpet cleaner came in, they've cleaned the carpets, and obviously what they used has stripped my protection off my carpet, because now my carpet's resoiling really, really quickly.
Yeah. Well, there's two things that can be happening there. It could be that they use a chemical that was too aggressive, because once again, if you use a highly alkaline chemical over pH 10 for anybody who has an understanding of chemistry, you will start to rip off that stain resistant protector.
Yep.
Okay. Normal foot trafficking will as well. It's a topical treatment, so it's on the fibre. It does break down. Yep. But the alkaline chemistry will promote that. Okay, so it will resoil quicker if you remove that stain resistance. But the other problem we have is, once again, what a lot of the cheap guys do, and this is how they go cheap, is they use a really aggressive chemical and they use it in the tank of their machine. Okay, so they're actually injecting that and then extracting it straight away. Okay, so there's all the residues from that detergent is now sitting in the carpet. That's the old school way of doing it from 30, 40 years ago.
Yep.
Things have changed dramatically since then. Our equipment has improved, but the whole idea is now that normally what we do, and then according to the Australian standards, what you should be doing as well, is you put down your detergent, it gives it time to actually break down and solubilise those soils, and then we use a rinsing agent to pull as much of that out as you can. So what you're leaving behind is a very, very minuscule amount of any chemical, and it's designed to stay in the carpet without any detrimental effect. And in a lot of the new ones these days are what they call encapsulating type as well. They will vacuum out straight away once you vacuum the carpet. So by the time you're done your vacuuming, after that, there's very little left in the carpet to resoil. So if everybody is using the correct chemistry, as per the Australian standard AS 3733 2000,
which is the new one,
the new standard, you will have an ultimately clean carpet that will stay clean for a decent period of time. Use the old school methods, then yes, you're going to have problems.
So is that the difference between the cheap end carpet cleaners and, I won't say expensive, what you'd normally expect to pay. I mean, I can work it out. Someone's actually got to come to my house, they've got they own a truck, they own all the equipment.
Yep.
It doesn't take too much to work out that someone's paying for something somewhere.
You've got to pay somewhere along the line,
Yeah.
that's right, yeah. So, I mean, a lot of guys think, oh, well, I'll be on the job and I'll get $60 and it takes me half an hour to do. If you can do a house in half an hour to an hour and think you've done a good job, you better think again. And then, of course, into that, you've also got to factor things like travel time.
Yep.
You've got to factor in your insurances, you've got to factor in your telephone bill, you've got to factor in your repairs on the equipment, you've got to factor in the fact that sooner or later you've got to buy new equipment. And then all the other associated business costs. It's not just what you're doing in that little hour block in that house, it's what your whole business overall has to cost you. So if you're charging $100 even for a house, over time you'll actually lose money. It's just a given fact. And I mean, over the 31 years that I've now been in this industry, I've seen it time and again where people come in, charge a cheap price, and then they leave again because they've not made any money, they've made a loss, and they sell their equipment for nothing, and then they start the cycle with the next person.
Now, you've been in the industry, you said, for 30 odd years. You must have come across a lot of what we call old, in my terminology, old wise recipes. You know, grandmother passed them down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we've got the bicarb sodas, we've got the vinegars going on.
That's right.
You know?
Look, we hear that so often, you know, bicarb this and bicarb that. Look, the truth of the matter is that, once again, if you understand anything about chemistry at all, bicarb is alkaline.
Right.
Okay? And vinegar is an acid. They cancel each other out. That bubbling you see when they're doing their thing is that reaction of them cancelling each other out.
So it's not magic going on.
It's not magic. What you do have is a little bit of effervescence, and that does help to actually mechanically remove some soil. But it's not really doing much.
Right.
The other problem is that when you're with a bicarb, because it's a powdered product, as it dries out, goes back to a powder. So if there's anything left there that the vinegar hasn't been able to overcome, and it's not, you know, the full reaction hasn't been there, that bicarb left in a carpet, and especially on a wool carpet, you'll destroy the carpet. You'll destroy the wool fibre. You can have a bleaching effect on acid dyed nylons, not on solution dyed nylons, but on acid dyed nylons. It can actually strip colour out over time. But you leave it in contact with the wool, and you will kill the wool, and that's just not a maybe, it's a guarantee.
You know, you say you've been in the industry, and you have for 31 years. You've done a lot of development, actually contributed to the new standards that have come out. You've got your own chemistry lab going on. You do stuff do stuff for the carpet industry and actual carpet manufacturers as well for them. What was it like when you very first started in the industry, though? Can you go back and go, what was it like back then when you first started carpet cleaning?
Oh man, it was just, look, as I said, I started 31 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, 31 years on April 30th, so that gives you some idea. Yeah, we're pretty close to the anniversary. So back then, I got basically told, here is your machine, here is your detergent. If you have a really heavy soiled area, spray product X, and that was pretty much it. That's as much training as I got.
Really?
And that's as much training as was available around at the time. You could research a little bit, but back then, internet, what was that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Of course.
We didn't really have that. I didn't even have a mobile phone. You know, back in those days, the mobile phone used to be the big briefcase.
Yeah, I remember those. The brick.
So the brick, not even the brick was just the Motorola one. That still clipped on your belt, but it was a massive brick on your belt. Yeah. But you know, back then we didn't have the technologies that we do today. So I used to ask a lot of questions, but unfortunately the only contacts I had in that sphere were salespeople, who probably had less of an idea than I did, and they just tried, use this and use that and use the other. Yeah. But I never used to get the results that I wanted. So it wasn't until I was actually in the industry for 6 years that the first training course became available when I went in there, and I was in shock by the time I came out of that. I was just like, oh my God, I've been doing everything so wrong without real thinking I was doing a good job, because the results were okay. Yep. You know, once I left the job, they looked fine. But was I really cleaning without further damage down the line? But sometimes these things take time to appear. Yes. And I've seen plenty of instances of that where things haven't gone quite right. I actually had to go do a re-dye job just 2 weeks ago, where someone had gone in with an alkaline chemical and started cleaning the carpet, and there was this beautiful zigzag bleach marks, which I had to then recolour back to the original colour again. Oh, because someone used a highly alkaline detergent, or whatever it was you had in his equipment, and transferred onto an acetate nylon. That alkaline acid, once again, they can cancel each other out, so kiss goodbye to the dye.
Goodness me. So you're going back and you've grown your business and a really professional, probably one of the top businesses in carpet cleaning in probably Australia, WA definitely. What were some of the challenges of growing a carpet business and educating people on how to do this properly? What are some of the things you've had to overcome?
Well, it's ignorance, but it's only ignorance because of the fact that no one's ever told anybody. And the problem now is that we have the prevalence of the internet with a lot of misinformation. And particularly Google. Dr. Google. And as I've said before, particularly with the information that we get, most of it's American-based.
Yes.
So some of it can be pertinent, but in a lot of cases, what they're talking about is doing stuff on synthetic carpets, and they have a lot of polyester and polypropylene, which chemically are almost inert. Polyester not so much, but polypropylene definitely. And you can throw all manner of stuff onto there and not have a reaction on it, and not an adverse. But then again, they're really easy to clean stains off. Whereas your nylons, and particularly the acetate nylons, and your wool carpets, they're the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Wool in particular is really fussy. Get that wrong and you seriously get things wrong. And then you've got other things like your cellulose fibres or your plant-based fibres, or rayons, which we discussed before, the paper mache of the fibre world. So unless you've got the understanding of all of those...
You've got to watch that video, your carpet's really paper. Yes.
Yeah, well, even like I said, it's not even paper, it's paper mache because it's a reconstituted cellulose. It's gone through a process where they break it all down. And once again, if you don't understand the chemistry behind it, you start using those chemical formulations that you get off the internet. I've got a classic one that I came across a couple of weeks back, and what's it they were using? They threw in there, it was a laundry detergent, plus vinegar, plus a softener as well.
Oh, the softener.
Oh, the softener. Oh, you know what softeners are, don't you?
Go on.
Oil. Okay, they're basically an oil, which is what makes them feel soft, but they're oily. Okay, so now you've gone and put in high alkalinity.
Yep.
Okay, and you've counteracted it a little bit with the vinegar. So it's like, well, is it really cleaning? Oh, and the other thing was peroxide went in there as well. That's correct. Yeah. So now, if you've gone in there and you've whammed it, and you haven't got your alkalinity and acid base quite correct, you've now got a high alkaline, potentially highly alkaline product that's sitting on the carpet with peroxide, okay, and that alkalinity, you boost the actual performance of the peroxide, so you potentially can strip colour out, and then you throw a softener in over the top of that, and guess what, in 2 weeks' time that carpet's going to be filthy and possibly have the dyes affected as well.
Wow.
And that's a recipe that was running around the internet just a couple of months ago.
You know, before the internet, what was the challenges for yourself in being able to learn all this?
Well, as I said, until that training came to the fore, it was really difficult to find out unless you went into the library and started researching chemistry yourself, which I did do a little bit of. So I had a basic idea, but when it came to things like the stain protection of the carpet, I had no idea. I didn't understand the difference between the fibres. I never thought to look at that. I just thought the carpet's a carpet.
Carpet's carpet.
Yeah. I was just as ignorant as anybody else. Yeah. And that's why I said when I did that training and then we sort of started identifying what we were working with, all of a sudden all these things fell into place for me and I went, oh my God. And after that it's like, oh, there's a training course coming. I'm there. Yeah, because the more I learnt, the easier my job became and the more confident I became as well to be able to relate that to my clients as well, so they knew and could understand what was going on and what potentially could happen, adverse results or benefits of what I might be doing. I could explain that to people rather than just say, oh yeah, I'm going to come in and I'm going to perform magic on the carpet, and then like, oh, it didn't work, sorry lady.
It must be the carpet.
That must be the carpet. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that so many times. Oh, it's something has come up out of the underlay.
Didn't you have that on the wool carpet? The guy said, oh, it's just the carpet. It was like a $25,000 carpet or something.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times where the actual blame has been put solely onto the carpet, whereas the carpet had not an issue with it. It just hadn't been cleaned properly, and all it took was me to come along and flush it out. And the job, the problem was solved.
Wow.
It's just this person had zero idea, so because it wasn't working for him, it's like, oh, well, point the finger somewhere else.
Yeah.
But he couldn't afford to spend the time on it because he didn't understand it, and he was fighting a losing battle. He'd already been back 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and each time he did it, it got worse.
That's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you've implemented in your business to ensure that the people you work with and the clients have this knowledge and have this understanding, and you get these, I mean, you get results. I mean, I recommended you, and I can say this quite often, I recommended you to a property manager,
Yep.
and she never been able to get these carpets cleaned. You went in there and she rang me up and said, unbelievable,
Yep.
and you're on speed dial. So what are the solutions you've put into place, or systems you've put into place in your business to get this consistency?
Well, there is a certain procedure that you need to follow. So anybody that have working with me or for me
Yeah.
is going to follow those same sorts of procedures. Okay,
Right.
so there is a certain method to our madness, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, but there are times where things are not going to go necessarily according to the plan that you want. There are other things that can come into it, but if you take the time to explain that to your client before you start, we're really, I guess, dumbing it down a little bit so that if we don't get the result, there is this reason why, and this is what else that can be done, or, sorry, but we're just fighting a losing battle, and replacement is the best and cheapest option.
And you
It does happen.
And you've
Yeah.
said that to people, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely.
You've
yeah.
gone in and gone,
Well, if you've got a piece of carpet that's going to be $600 to replace, and you're going to spend, $400 on fixing it,
Yeah.
and the carpet's already, 10, 15 years old, is there any point in doing that? Okay, that ultimately is the customer's decision. Sometimes I'll say, yeah, go ahead, but my take on that is at that point there, it's really going to be more than the real value of that piece of carpet, and to want to get a completely guaranteed result, replacement will be the best option. You will have a carpet that's now going to perform for the next 15 years again, quite happily, whereas this one here, even though we will be as careful as we can, when we have to go really harsh within the chemistry, there's going to be some impact on the carpet. So it's the balance, and that's what we have to try and communicate with our customers, and we keep them informed as possible so that they're aware of the risks and the benefits of what you might be doing.
So when you, and I am conscious of your time, but when you are with a customer and you talk about these things, how does a customer know they're dealing with a well-trained professional? Let's put it, I don't want to say cowboy, but...
But it really ultimately comes down to...
What's your advice to them to be able to select the right person?
To select the person is, if you've got a problem with the carpet, don't just go to a guy that says, oh yeah, I'll get it out for you, no worries, and I'll come around and do the job. We ask, even before we get there, a series of questions to really try and get as much information as we can, and we also quite often will ask for pictures. A picture speaks 1,000 words. Okay, so we can look at it, and quite often, not always, but quite often I can identify the type of carpet. They can give me a history of what's happened to it, and then we can actually make an informed decision on what processes we might not be able to do, and give them an idea of what results to expect. Whereas anybody that's just saying, oh yeah, I can come along and I'll give it a crack.
Yeah.
Well, what sort of a crack are they going to give it?
Yeah.
Do they actually know what they're doing? Have they asked any questions at all? They're just turning up blindly and just treating it, every carpet the same way, which is what generally does happen.
Now, we're based in Perth, Western Australia, and you head up the West Australian Carpet Cleaning Association?
Well, not so much head up. I certainly was involved with the setting up of it between myself and Kim Howson, and I'm still on board as the training coordinator.
Okay.
So
what does that, I mean, I know what it does for carpet cleaners themselves, for the training. Is there something in there for the customer? Can they
absolutely.
go there? What can they get out
well,
of that?
the thing is that when you get a CCAWA certified member, they will have had that training. They actually have to pass carpet cleaning and upholstery module. They have to pass a advanced stain removal module as well, and quite importantly, the OC health and safety. So that we know that when they go into a job, they're capable of doing that job. And it's not just a case of they're going in and going, oh yeah, there's a tick and flick exam. No, they have to do the tick and flick exam. Even if they've done other training courses, they still have to go through our little exam. I actually go out on site with them and watch them do their work, and they have to complete and comply all of the OC health and safety standards as well. So we know that if we got someone going in under our banner, that they're going to give the best service possible. And if there is a problem, well, guess what? We're the heavies that will come in and try to set things straight.
Now, here's the thing, and I think it's becoming more prevalent. I know it's happening in other industries, I'm not quite sure about yourself, but people making false claims.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a member.
Oh, yeah, we've had quite a few
You've
of
had
those.
that too?
Unfortunately, there's always going to be someone they're desperate to get the job, so they'll say anything they can. And sometimes it's not even that they're desperate for the job, they're just dishonest. shall we say. So we do get that happening from time to time. We try and keep on top of it as much as possible.
Is there a way for the consumer to check?
Yeah, absolutely. Go to the website.
Oh, right.
The website has actually got a list of all fully qualified members. There's still quite a few members. Address? It's ccwa.com.au. But you'll actually find a page on there which lists all the members and all the different specialities. Each person will have their own web page. So you'll see a photo of them, you see what they look like, they can see all the education and training that they have had. So it's not just us saying, oh, well, you know, they've done this, they've got certificates to be able to prove it as well.
So like in specialist fields like water damage, flood damage, that's a really specialist area. You can actually check to make sure they've got the correct training for that.
So if they can actually show you a certificate, well, you know, they have done the training.
Yes.
Okay, so there are several different bodies around the place that can supply that sort of thing. But each one has got a list of different things that they can or cannot. Well, not so much cannot, but that they can do. And it's just you can even go to the bottom of the web page, and it's got lots of little hyperlinks there: carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, encapsulation cleaning, leather cleaning, whatever it is. And you can click on that, and that will bring up the list of all the people that do that particular speciality. So we try to shortcut it for people to make it as easy as possible. But that's technology's great when it works for you.
Let's shortcut it even more, because I'm conscious of time. They want to go to yourself.
Yep.
The best.
The best. Of course we are. Yeah.
What's the best way for that, Franco?
Okay, we can give us a call at 0418 914 097, and that will get you through to the office. It'll divert to the office as well. You can give the details to the girls there, and they'll be able to get you booked in. Or you can go onto our website, which is www.facc.com.au. There's an inquiry form on that. Once again, the Facebook page, the Fresh Air Carpet Cleaning Facebook page, and it's Fresh Air with an E, 2 words, an E. That will get you through to our Facebook page, and once again, there's an inquiry form on that. Then there's a good old info at facc.com.au. You have the present emails that we all rely on. That's the different ways you can get in touch with us and get in touch with us quite rapidly.
Franco, it's been great chatting, clearing up about chemicals and what is the actual reality versus the myths and the fairy tales, and a little bit of a history about your own business as well. I found it fascinating. Thank you so much.
No worries, thank you.